Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
First down at 10 at their own 10-yard line. Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, started off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. Rory going to the single coverage, end zone. Touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
The winner of the 2025 Heisman Trophy is Fernando Mendoza.
Hello, welcome. Episode 287, a little surprise episode for you on a Monday. Or I guess we put it out today, right? Should put it out today, producer? Yeah, producer says yes. A little surprise pod for you on a Sunday. Do a little Sunday morning recording for you, following up on the amazing news of yesterday. I think you guys know by now that Fernando Mendoza has won the Heisman Trophy, the first ever in IU football history. And we're here to talk about that and some other things, talk about some CFP stuff. We're not going to dive too deep into that yet. We'll have a special pod for you guys out later this week. And then we'll do a couple things around the program, some coaching stuff, some other coaching things around the Big Ten while trying to tiptoe around some sensitive situations. And I think maybe we'll let Seth monitor that one. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. What a night. What's up, Seth? What's up, Brandon?
What's going on, guys? I cried for the first time in a long time. I didn't cry when I read the letter from Nando's mom, but for some reason, when they just kept flashing to her, and as soon as she started crying, that is when. No, I wasn't like bawling, right? Like I'm not, but. It was emotional. It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's a night I won't forget. I hope many of you feel the same way. It's just an award. There's a lot more to play for, but yeah, it was incredible. Hard to put in words.
I'll try.
Seth, what were the tears like? And I want to know real quick. Oh no, do your word. Sorry, I shouldn't cut you off. Go ahead.
It was deserved.
Okay.
No, it was the whole family watched. It was great. The wife, the kid were crying. I lost it at the letter. The whole thing is emotional. It's he's a good guy. It's a good family. Every part of it is just a kind of the representation you want of the university. He encapsulates a lot of kind of cornball antics without being corny. And there's just like a genuineness there that I think everybody has to appreciate. And then we can get into like the voting breakdown and stuff like that. But I know there was some pucker butts about, was he going to win? But it was a landslide. He won all the regions. It was
the fourth largest win in the last decade.
So yeah, landslide and deserved.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get this wrong. I know it was the fourth. I think it was only Burrow, Bryce Young, and I'm blanking on the third one who won by more than Nando did.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was Baker. It was Baker Mayfield. It was Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Baker. Yeah, Burrow and Bryce Young were the only three in the last decade to win by more votes than Nando did.
Yeah, you kind of talked about it there a little bit, Seth, but I was good like all day until like the little interview with Tebow and Andre Ware and Desmond Howard, where Tebow was talking about how like right now is when he would like really start getting super nervous. And he was, what was he? Oh, Andre Ware was the one who was talking about, or maybe it was Desmond. One of the two was talking about, it's Desmond, about how the receiver from Notre Dame was like the heavy favorite. And then Ty Detmer ends up winning the Heisman Trophy out of nowhere. So like the one thing in my mind was like the way they had everything set up, right? They interviewed Pavia first, and then they talked about Pavia. They did his highlight package first, and like they had Nando
They did the
second
whole, like,
in everything.
his stats like lined up with Jaden Daniels, and they did like that, the side by side comparison of he'd be the only guy other than Dak to put up those stats and not win the Heisman. Like you're right. That first like 15 minutes, I was nervous. I was just like, oh, yeah. The agenda, the SEC agenda, they came out with this hard in the first 15, 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah. I you know what? They talked about the stats a lot, right? And that's kind of like one of the trends going around on people kind of poo-pooing on this Heisman class, right? Have you guys seen that on social media where they're like, whoa, he's thrown for like 1,000 less yards than this person? I saw somebody that did an incredible breakdown. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but I think it was starting last season where they stopped the ball, or they only stopped the clock on a first down after 2 minutes. Is that correct? Or was that this season? It was last season. Okay. So to break all that down, doesn't sound like very much, but forever, it was always first down, stop the clock until we can line up and get it going. The guy broke it down, and it breaks into 24. I think at minimum, it's like 24 additional drives per season. So if you figure, if he has 24 more possessions, you figure what, you get 12. You even get 12 in a game. Like, I'm trying to think how many you get in a game. But what's to say that could be another 600 yards, right? Or you get, what's that say? That it's 2 per game, right? Is that what you're saying?
2 more drives per game. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're saying
drives,
you get
12 games.
So you're getting that, you have essentially 2 games worth of stats that are missing, right? Minutes wise, I guess, in theory. So if you say he throws for 250 yards each, that's another 500 yards. Or if he throws for 300 in those 2 games, it's another 600 yards, and he's a lot closer than what it was. But so that agenda is just bull crap anyway.
I think you're right on the stats thing. That's not why he won.
No,
he won because of the throw at Iowa. He won because of his performance in Autzen. He won because of his throw at Penn State. He won because of the throws in the Big Ten championship. Like Nando passed the eye test more than he passed the stat test. Because I think if this was a stat competition, Pavia wins. I think Pavia probably had, Sayin and Nando's numbers are pretty even, so I don't think Sayin wins if we're just comparing stat sheets. But Nando, I think, won in the landslide for how he played, not what he put up. Does that make sense, Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think to counter that, he did put up some, let me do some balance here. He did have some nice stat games. He did have 2 5-touchdown games, albeit against Indiana State and Illinois. He had, 3 additional 4-touchdown games against Michigan State, against Kennesaw, and late in the season against Wisconsin. He only had 1 game over 300 yards passing. That was the Michigan State game. But then you look at his QB ratings, his lowest QB rating was 110, and that was the ODU game, his first game of the season. He also put up a 290. You also look at some of his completion percentages. He had games where he went 19 for 20, 21 for 23, 24 for 28, 22 for 24. There's an efficiency, there's a leadership, there's a combination of all of the magical nuances that were this season, and I think I think there's enough there that adds up to a Heisman in even a normal a normal year. I hate to say normal. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
I think it stacks up pretty well against a lot of other Heisman contenders in previous
Yeah.
seasons.
And I would like to see a couple things, right? I would like to see, like, if we're gonna compare him to, let's just go with Jaden Daniels, right? Let's go look at Jaden Daniels games and how many times he beat a conference opponent by 50 points and got yanked in the third quarter, or how many times he had those game-winning drives. Now, I don't remember. I learned about Jaden Daniels during the Heisman ceremony that year. Like, I did not pay attention to much. I hate the SEC, but I didn't pay much attention to LSU or any of that stuff. Because that's when college football used to suck, right? Right. So, but now I've got an interesting question, and then a quote that kind of goes along with it. I'd like to know yes or no, or maybe maybe just go based off facial expression. Was it cringe to have Johnny Manziel there yesterday? Was it weird?
Was he sweating?
Brandon, I don't know if you've
Look,
seen the documentary or not on Netflix, but it's very possible he was sweating for
he looked
reasons.
glossy, and I was at a buddy's house because we did the whole Sullivan Express last night.
Love that.
And we got to my buddy's house like right at 7. And I go, is Manziel sweating? He goes, it's either that or he's hungover, or he's high, or he is just I don't know. But yeah, he didn't look good. He did not look good.
Seth, your opinion? And then I got a quote I want to read you guys.
Agree completely. And then was Fowler the host?
Yes.
He did a bad job.
Yeah, he was boring, and I think he seemed confused at several times. And I think
Nando was like, "Is it my turn to talk?" Like, that
Oh
was
yeah, that was funny, dude. That was funny. I thought it was funny.
And then Fowler brushes it off like he's like, well, it's your award. I'm like, dude, you are a host. Like,
Yeah.
Don't throw Nando under the bus for you not knowing how to facilitate a conversation. Fowler's normally incredible. He's normally really good.
Yeah. That was not.
That was bad.
And then I think right before that, the highlight package that was narrated right before that, it says like in big bold letters, narrated by Baker Mayfield. And then he goes, and thank you for that awesome narration by Johnny Manziel. And you're just like, wait, what?
Did Baker dirty? I didn't notice that.
I did.
Well, they had the teleprompter. I've never seen that either. Like, not even like in like Oscars or Emmys do you get to see the teleprompter. It was just a bad broadcast. Like, in general, it was you use the word cringe because that seems to be the word that everyone is saying online to kind of shift things, because my wife asked this question.
Hold on, I got to get out the Manziel quote first. Hold on.
Sorry.
Did you see what he said? I don't know when he said it, but it had to have been around the Big Ten championship game or maybe a little bit after. Quote, this is what he said about Fernando Mendoza. We just got basic fade routes being called Heisman moments now. I've really seen it all. Congrats to Indiana, though, and that's a hell of a win. Like, how are you going to be salty like that and then still get invited and then still dap up Fernando at the end of it? Like, that was so stupid.
Yeah, all right, I mean, his opinion doesn't matter.
No.
I also saw,
what'd your wife say?
Potentially his future teammate, Max Crosby, was just standing Fernando. All like, I just came through it on Reels, but Crosby was on some show, like live streaming the Big Ten championship, and he was like going nuts. So, whose opinion do I value more? Crosby's or Manziel's? I think that's probably pretty easy one there.
You're just more scared of Crosby than you are of Manziel, but
yeah, well, that too. So it at least on social media, I don't think people knew, because like you said, you didn't know Jaden Daniels until the Heisman. I don't think people knew Fernando Mendoza until probably the Big Ten championship. I think people, when I say people, I mean college football fans, they know him for about a week, right? I think people are just now learning of Fernando Mendoza, and I think, taken everyone by storm. I mean, people are loving him. College or pro, can you think of a player that people have rallied around like this? Sasha asked me that last night, and I didn't have an answer. I was like, I really can't think of people who is a player, man or woman, who is universally liked like this by everyone.
Can I say
Not Caitlin Clark, not Zach
no?
Beatty,
Caitlin Clark's got some. She's got some rough edges. Andrew Luck is the only one I can kind of think of that was like. I don't want to say this about Nick. At least he reminds a lot of people of Andrew Luck, right? The way he talks, the way he's like really well spoken and peppy, and like, minus the the little bit of a like obvious difference in voice and all that other stuff. But and I don't know if Andrew Luck was universally as much liked, but I don't think so. Holly Rowe said the same thing.
Tebow was very polarizing.
No, yeah, Tebow.
But I can't think. Even Andrew Luck, I don't feel like. I don't know. Was this universally liked? I can't think. This is bad podcasting, but like Sasha's question,
a good podcast.
14 hours ago, she asked me this. I still don't have an answer of someone who's just everyone's like, yeah, this dude's awesome.
I think the other thing, just to detract from Jaden Daniels also for a moment, is that they went 9-3 that season. And that's why you didn't know about him until the Heisman, because he didn't get to the SEC championship game so that he could put on a performance, so that he could sway voters, so that he could get in your eyeballs and get in your brain and be like, oh, who's this guy? So the other thing is that he delivered all season long, the consistency to allow his team and the rest of them to put themselves in a position to showcase themselves nationally. So if they are just now becoming aware of him, A, what took you so long? But B, he put himself in a position to showcase himself in the right way. So again, just everything coming together the right way.
Yeah, and Brandon, what you said about Nando, I mean, go back and listen to how much Holly Rowe and really who was the guy we were just crapping on, Chris Fowler, both of them kind of gush over him like multiple times through the broadcast about how amazing of a kid he is, and about how well spoken he is, and about how he never really says the wrong thing, right? And I thought,
want to know what Steve Spurrier, during Nando's speech, Steve Spurrier kept whispering something to the guy to his left. And I imagine it has to be, this kid's sharp. Like, what a speech. At least I hope that's what Steve Spurrier was saying. I guess I don't know if it was that. But I kept looking over. Yeah, well, maybe that. But
that's what Manziel was whispering.
Yeah.
Well, he was just talking to himself because he needed another bumpers.
Allegedly. All right. Anything else we want to talk about? Last night, I thought a couple things. One, I thought it was weird, and maybe I don't remember it. I don't remember him saying anything in his speech directly. Oh, he did. Never mind. He said right at the beginning about Alberto. But then I thought it was pretty funny that Max. So like the way they were set up, his youngest brother, it was like from right to left, basically. It was like Alberto, mom, dad, Sig, and then Max. Like, I wonder if like he asked to sit next to Coach Sig, or maybe Coach Sig was like, hey, you want to sit next to me? I'll sit next to dad. Like whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. But that kid's gonna be pretty badass too, I think. So
so another thing that that's the first time I think I've ever watched the entire hour of the presentation.
Yep, same with me.
I've always tuned in because it's always like either right before a college basketball game or right before a football game. So like, oh, the Heisman presentation's on. Let me throw it on. I've never watched that hour-long presentation. That can probably be a 30-minute show.
Thank you.
I don't think that needs to be as much as I obviously was just scooping up all the content. It was amazing, but like trying to put bias aside, that needs to be a 30-minute show. It does not need to be an hour-long show. And then one more thing, call this Sasha Insights. Have you ever seen Sig smile more?
No.
No,
Like
not
Sasha just kept
since
saying,
last
like,
weekend.
she's like, I'm used to him being angry all the time, and he has nothing but smiles. Sasha's like, it's kind of weird. She's like, I'm not used to this man being happy, which was just amazing to show him emote something different. Was very, very jarring, but awesome.
Yeah, you deserve that one, bro. That's that was the quote. All right. Anything else we want to talk about Heisman wise? Do we want to move on? Talk maybe a little bit about some CFP brackets. We didn't really get to talk too much, or if we did talk much after the the Big Ten championship, I must have still been a little drunk or something because I don't remember a whole lot of how that podcast went, other than the fact that I couldn't talk. What do you guys think? Do you think anybody was screwed out of a spot? And then tell me why JMU and IU is going to be I guess it can't be. Dang it. Tell me why Tulane and IU is going to be the national championship.
I'll let Seth go first.
Yikes. No, I mean, Notre Dame, take it or leave it. I didn't think Miami necessarily deserved a spot. I didn't really think Alabama deserved a spot, but there's not really any team that I would have preferred over them. So it's like, again, when I said deserve before about the Heisman for Mendoza, I feel the opposite about those kind of spots, but that's okay. I would love to think that JMU would be a potential, I guess that would be a semifinal opponent of IU, but that's going to be really tough for them. Tulane, they've already lost to Ole Miss previously in the season by quite a bit.
35.
35. Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, I don't see that happening.
So yeah, I think we'll do predictions. So just at least on an IU front, amazing. I think the two best teams in the country not named IU is Georgia and Ohio State, and they're on the other side of the bracket. So I love that they have to play each other first. I think Texas Tech is the weakest, and we already have the blueprint of how to beat Oregon. Now everyone's gonna say it. I've already heard it all. It's tough to beat a team twice. That's not real. That's a thing that phonies say. That's not a real thing. If you beat a team once, you obviously can beat a team twice. The strategy isn't changing. It was an incredible draw for Indiana, Alabama, and Oregon. Neither one of those teams, in my opinion, scare you. Vegas has already come out with Indiana would be -8 against Bama and -10 against Oklahoma. I think it was 9.5 Oklahoma. So Vegas also doesn't think it is entirely that close. So the only thing that I will say on a non-IU thing is, why the hell did they drop the bracket at 12:30 on a Sunday when no one knew it was even happening? Like, I just assumed it would be one of two ways. It would be like Selection Sunday, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, post NFL, or they do it on Tuesday like they've been doing for the last 2 months. So I didn't even know that show happened. Like I was trying to look for NFL injury updates for fantasy, and then I was like, oh, the bracket's released. What? Didn't even know that was happening. So the last two, this is an audio podcast, I've been putting in quotes, the last two shows, the bracket release and the Heisman presentation, woof. Woof.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing they got right yesterday, I thought the location, like the setup was awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else, Seth?
Nope.
I can't tell what you're okay. There you go. All right. Brandon or Seth, do you guys want to talk injury updates? I know there's been some sad news with our stud defensive end. But
I think we can get into this.
Let's do it.
Probably deeper.
Yeah.
But I just want to pose one question to Seth. Kamara just jumps into his role he did last year, right? Like you have an entire month. You fill because Wyatt took Kamara's role, and then obviously Daly filled in for Wyatt. You put Kamara right back into that role, right?
Quite possibly, yeah. I think, especially with the person or not the person, but the multiple people who are going to be opposite him, probably their strength now is probably going to be setting an edge. So if you're going to maximize strengths, yeah, putting Kamara kind of at more of a rush end, which is, what he liked to do more traditionally, where he thrived last year. I think there's a lot of benefit there. I know he also has some health issues, so hopefully he's going to be okay. So you just want to see that explosiveness back. So if he is at a rush end, you want to make sure that he is, at that quickest, twitchiest level to maximize that potential matchup.
Yeah,
I got a couple questions there. The one thing that kind of stuck out was, or that I've read at least, was that Landino moving out of the interior, moving back out to the outside. The problem, I guess, and it's not that much weight, I was looking it up while Seth was talking, was that they kind of developed him Kamara being all summer, all season to play that side of the line and not be the rush. Now, I thought he had added like 10, 15, 20 pounds. He's only added like 5 pounds, I think, between the two, 2024 and 2025. I like that idea. I haven't thought of that. Now, I guess the backup question
I'm really
would be,
smart.
well, let's see how smart you are here. The backup question is, who takes his spot? Do you want to play Daniel Ndukwe? You want to start Daniel Ndukwe? Or do you move Landino over there? Because I think Landino
you
promote
Wheeler, right? You promote Wheeler to fill Landino. Landino fills Kamara. Kamara fills Daly.
Yeah. Okay.
I
wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. I didn't
just get a 15x promotion like Bryant Haines did. So that's his job to figure out. But if Bryant Haines wants to call me up, that's what I would do. I would kick Landino into Kamara's position, move Kamara to Daly. Josiah Wheeler gets the start.
Yeah, quick before that was a great transition. By the way,
I know. I was gonna say, if only we could talk Michigan situation right now based off.
I know. Well, we'll move into that. So, Bryant Haines gets a big extension. What's he up to now per year, Brandon? 4?
So it's $3 million, and then there's all the incentives.
Yeah.
So my 15x for Seth math was he was making $189,000 3 years ago as JMU's DC. If he wins the Art Briles Award, if he's top 10 defense, like there's a whole, it's obviously, as all coaching contracts are, incentive laden. But yes, he can make up to $4 million. He went from $189,000 to potentially $4 million in 3 years. That is banana pancakes.
Yes. Good claps.
And the biggest thing that I just read on Peegs 24/7, if you're not a subscriber, go pay the money. It's worth the $10. He is now making more than any group of 5 coach.
Yes.
Liberty's coach is actually the highest paid group of 5 coach, and he's making before incentives $2.5 million. So Bryant Haines is making 500. So again, a lot of people were talking, is Shanahan, is Haines, are they going to go become head coaches at G5? I think at least with Bryant Haines, no. Why? Well, A, you're going to have to take a pay cut, and B, that's at worst a horizontal move, or at best a horizontal move. So I think we can pretty much only look at P4 for Bryant Haines now moving forward. So and then again, Jeff Rabjohns is propping up his boy Scott Dolson. We've talked about Scotty D for good, bad, and indifferent on this podcast. He does deserve credit getting the SIG extension and the Bryant Haines extension done. So I'm not the mouthpiece for that. It seems to be Rab Johns as being the mouthpiece for that, but I will at least snaps and claps for Dolson getting both of those extensions done in what seems to be a banana coaching carousel.
Yeah, so I was going to ask a couple follow-up questions on Bryant Haines, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about, we'll just probably just stick with Michigan. But one, why leave, especially for a group of 5 school, to be a head coach job, start over? Chances are it's going to be a total rebuild when you can stay familiar, stay in your spot, stay with the people you've been with. How long has he been with SIG now? 10 years or something like that?
At least since Elon, which was
Yeah.
2016, 2017.
So he's been there for a long time. Same people, same concepts. You've got full control. SIG has said this multiple times this season. He is not involved in the defense at all. He has nothing to say. He'll give a suggestion maybe every now and then, but any play calls, anything that comes across on the defense has nothing to do with him. And it's like the first time in his career or something that he said that he's kind of backed off of that. So you have full control of that. You're familiar where you're at. You're getting paid more than what you would get paid there too. The other question that I kept getting, at least whenever it happened, was, man, why wouldn't he go take a head coaching job somewhere, even at a Power 4 school? Same thing. I mean, it just, if you sit down and you think logical, yeah, it's a status, right? Hey, look, I'm a head coach at, I don't know, let's throw one out. Let's say Northwestern. Boom. Yep. Dude, how hard would that be for him he has to build a coaching staff. He has to build the program. He has to do all this stuff in such a short amount of time. Whereas you just stay comfortable, make $1 million less and keep doing what you're doing and maybe go to a national championship.
This is crazy. Do you know how much Tom Allen was paid at Indiana?
I think his highest was $2.5 million. I was going to say that too. Is that right?
1.9 million.
There you go.
Now, he was one of the lowest paid coaches in the country, but like to your point, like Bryant Haines is going to go coach Pitt for $5 million when he's making $4 million as the DC, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. You're going to go coach at NC State for $3 million, right? Like Bryant Haines, as much as amazing, he's not getting an LSU job. He's not getting a Florida job. He's not getting we'll talk about it. He's not getting a Michigan job. He's going to have to take a middle to low tier Power 4 job. Like your point, man, that's tough.
Right. Shiano leaves Rutgers next year.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's got, I think Brandon's got a little bit of a point, but I think that if he puts it together, let's say he does it again next year. That's 3 straight years of a top 10. Yeah, exactly. A top 10 defense. He's proven what he's going to do. He's proven he can recruit, develop, do all this other stuff. I think that he can slide into a mid-tier P4, maybe even a middle top tier P4.
But that's position. Where that money comes into play.
Yeah.
Like that was my point on Tom Allen. Like Tom Allen was underpaid, but he was still a head coach. I mean, I'm not looking up Pat Narduzzi or Dave Braun, or I'm not looking up any of these guys' salaries, which I don't know. I'm not the producer. But like, wow. They can't be making too much more than what Bryant Haines is making. He's spicy online.
I don't know. He's spicy online. We love Bryant Haines. Bryant Haines on the Twitter.
Oh. Who's also a follower of
us of the pod. Yeah. Thank you, Coach. Speaking of Coach, let's talk a little bit. We can branch out from Michigan. Again, I want to tiptoe around this a little bit. I've seen some really messed up things on social media. Some real, some might not be real. One about how he posted bail and maybe did some things as soon as he got out of jail. I don't know if you guys saw that one or not, Jim. I don't know, Jim. But that's not good when you're maybe trying to save the marriage. But here's my opinion, and I'm going to sit back. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. I think based off of the last I don't know, 3 years. Michigan is in big time trouble for the next 5 years, probably.
So there has not been anything like this since the Rick Pitino, Bobby Petrino thing.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville and Arkansas is not Michigan. Like Kelvin Sampson left a permanent black eye on Indiana basketball. This, what happened at Michigan is 10 times worse than what Kelvin Sampson did to Indiana basketball. This is, and I'm a dramatic person, I'm an over-the-top person, I think this is going to stick with Michigan forever. Forever. Also, like you said, people, what's real, what's fake, you have to believe everything or nothing. I mean, but regardless, like, that's how bad this potentially is. I'll try to sound cool, but it'll just sound like cringe. Michigan's cooked. Michigan's absolutely cooked. No coach is going to want to touch this. No recruits are going to want to be a part of this. This is damning. Damning.
Yeah, I'll only talk about what we're aware of thus far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's able to be confirmed via court documents, things of that nature. But what we apparently have is lack of institutional control at this point. That's a phrase that has gotten considerably, marketed, I guess, by the NCAA as one of those reasons to strip away or vacate or whatever those terms are. I think that Ward Manuel, the fact that he currently is still employed by the University of Michigan, is an absolute atrocity. Well, that's a terrible word to use for this situation, but it's just a shame. It's an absolute shame. He apparently, there's rumors that these things have been known, that there's been multiple investigations, that, just wanted to wait till the season was over, wanted to make sure that the Ohio State game, they had a chance to win the Ohio State game before any of this stuff comes out. It's just and then the other thing with the whole Michigan man attitude and the whole thing that they're superior people and they go through a tougher process than everybody else does. And it's us against the world. And all of this holier than thou victim mentality at the same time, all of it sanctimoniousness. You're right. The people are the tide has turned. This is a situation where I don't think there's anybody who's going to come out of this looking good. Recruits are leaving. There's a national search for a new coach, but who's interested? I have no idea. It'd be tough at this point. Right. Yeah.
They're going to sign him. ASU and Dillingham's agents apparently are sitting down and they're going to extend him. Nobody's going, right? Nobody's going to leave a good power.
But they also say that they're the best job in the country. We're the best job in the country.
They're not a top
best job in the country. They win that. Hey, what you said about the Ohio State job? What you said about the Ohio State game? I've heard this again. Hearsay. It's alleged. I have heard that if they win that game, none of this comes out. None of it ever sees the light of day.
Which goes back to the institutional control.
Exactly.
And the shadiness. I do want to fix myself or fix what I said. The Penn State Sandusky stuff was worse than this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
That's they're both horrible, but I did say nothing's like this since Petrino and Pitino. No, the Sandusky stuff was worse. So I did want to fix myself there. But how many years did it take for them? It took a good 2, 3, 4 years.
So it was a quicker turnaround than what people thought. I heard somebody give Franklin credit on that the other day, and I kind of winced a little bit, but they were right. I mean, he did
Bill
do
O'Brien
a decent
came
job
in
of
there
turning
for
it
the
around.
year.
Yeah, lost IU. Bill O'Brien, joke.
Indiana plays at the Big House. The schedule hasn't been released yet. Should be released soon. The schedule got released this Wednesday last year. So I'm kind of pumped for the 2026 schedule to get released.
We're going, by the way.
I was just going to say that. I was like,
We're
we got to
100%
go to the big house and watch this demolishing.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a takeover. It'll be a takeover in that stadium. It'll be the first time ever that it's going to be so much red in there. I've been there. I've been there for Trey Roberson, Nate Sudfeld team game where I think we kept it pretty close, but not a lot of red. Not a lot of red in there, but I think you're going to see something different next season for sure. But yeah, we're going. All right, Seth wants to move on. I think he wants to get out of here. He's got Seth's tripping a little bit. Let's talk about Seth for a minute. He's got fantasy football first round playoffs to worry about today. Meanwhile, I don't. I'm sitting back waiting on the result of that game so I can knock that winner out of the playoffs next week. But how's it looking, Seth? How did Thursday treat you? It treated you pretty well, I think, right?
Yeah, Mike Evans had a decent second half, and I
didn't start him.
I went from a 45-55 to a 55-45. So got a favorable projection right now.
I did start Baker. Baker got me 20 points.
Baker's
not your son, the Heisman Trophy winner.
No, the Heisman Trophy winner's the man. He's so good.
Yeah, so fantasy playoffs are amazing. Also, I'm not betting college basketball at all. I've yet to win a college basketball bet this year, but my college football heater remains. I hit Army Navy and I hit Washington. Made a pretty penny yesterday despite losing both basketball bets that I made. I'm just not betting college basketball. I'm only betting college football. I don't remember. This is BG. You never say this as a gamble. I don't remember last time I've lost a college football bet. This is a generational run for me in college football.
Do you have a little clinch moment there when Horvath did the fumble, catch it for himself, and then lean forward, fumble again?
I had Horvath in the under. So I had a Horvath anytime touchdown, and I had under 46.5. So
you didn't watch the game?
I watched the game. It was amazing by Horvath to catch his own fumble.
Dude, I thought Army was about to win the game. Yeah.
That Cal Fortner reminds me a lot of Micah McFadden.
You're talking about the Army linebacker? That kid was
not overly
ridiculous.
athletic, but just a thumper and always around. Just literally, I was like, oh my God. The eye paint, too, was a little over the top. But Cal Fortner is incredible. And, that was a super fun game. I didn't watch any of the Boise State Washington game, but, I think Washington was -4 or -5.
Yep.
That was the easiest bet of all time.
Belts were applied.
That was an easy bet.
Yeah, Seth's favorite quarterback threw 5 interceptions yesterday.
No, Madsen got hurt, and then yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough. We'll have a lot of CFP stuff this
predictions.
Week. It probably wins. Oh, a lot of predictions. A lot of talking, a lot of trying to explain to you both why Tulane is going to beat Ole Miss with no coach, and Trinidad Chambliss being more worried about AT&T than actual football.
He's changing teams here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I saw him on a commercial. But yeah.
Is that on the all names team, Trinidad Chambliss?
It's pretty good.
I mean, there's a lot of really good names, but yeah, that's a good one.
That seems like a Key and Peele skit, Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah, dude, the school he transferred from sounds like a Key and Peele skit. I can't even remember who it is, but I think they're like D2 or something like that. But yeah, while Seth looks it up, we'll just let you guys know. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have a lot of content coming up. Obviously this week with a preview of the whole thing, and then next week
Ferris State. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, it wasn't, but yeah, nobody's heard of them. And then I think IU basketball's probably played them a few times. One of the few wins we've had over the last little bit. But
what's the university in Grand Rapids that's close to Ferris?
Is that Grand Valley?
Grand Valley.
Yeah, this is Big Rapids, Michigan, and that's Grand Rapids.
Grand Valley State.
Grand Valley State.
Yes, the powerhouse. But yeah, that's enough. That's enough of this nonsense. Can't believe we got 44 minutes out of it. But yeah,
Okay.
until next time. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. HEISMENDOZA!
That wasn't stupid enough.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.